John, you just got off from the conference call that Yahoo began at 9 a.m. talking about this deal. So what were the highlights? What did you hear about from Marissa Mayer on this deal?
It's Marissa Mayer explaining to Wall Street analysts how Tumblr works. I mean, I think that's the reality of how quickly things change these days. And you're right, this is a blogging network. It's a social network. It's a smart, savvy, a young New York entrepreneur, David Karp, who started this in 2007 as a way for people to more creatively communicate. If they want to blog, fine, or if they want to put up photos or videos or things that are the equivalent of tweets, you can do all of it. And I think one of the big differences between a Tumblr and, say, a Facebook and a Twitter, Twitter and Facebook are very streamlined. They've got a certain way. They're very effective communication platforms. With Tumblr, it's sort of, create the kind of page that you want to have or the kind of blog that you want to have. And for Marissa Mayer, there is obviously this need or desire to keep Yahoo relevant and growing. And on that call, she was talking already about this company now touching 1 billion users. Yahoo itself touches around 700 million. She's adding in the Tumblr's 300 million. And she sees, opportunities for them to drive traffic to Yahoo through the Tumblr content and maybe even benefit their search business from this.
But is it worth over $1 billion? Did she get questions on that?
She did. I mean, this is not a Warren Buffett value play for sure. And actually, the analysts of Bloomberg were already estimating that Yahoo may have paid 3 times what Facebook was valued at its IPO. It's not a valuation play. I think people will judge this based on 2 things. First of all, since this company, Tumblr, is so early in its profit cycle, if they can generate a lot of money together, then that will potentially get a check mark. And I think if you look back at Facebook's purchase of Instagram, when Instagram had 50 million users and now has 100 million users, if Tumblr can keep growing and Yahoo can take credit for that the way Facebook has with Instagram, then maybe they've got a good story to tell. Okay,
John, just stay with me because I want to bring in Nick Thompson, our Bloomberg contributing editor, who's got his own take on this. And you say, look, Yahoo hasn't had the best track record when it comes to acquisition. So what about Tumblr? I mean, is this a good move for them?
Well, they've had a terrible track record with acquisitions, right? I mean, GeoCities, Flickr, they took companies that were very hot and the companies died under Yahoo's leadership. Now, that was a totally different era for leadership. This is the Marissa Mayer time, so maybe this will work. This is really a management problem. There's no doubt that Tumblr could become extremely valuable. They have the users, they have the cachet, they have the excitement, and there's no doubt that Yahoo could crush it. So it really depends on how well.
But where's the button here?
But we're going to see with Marissa Mayer whether it works or not, whether they can keep the Tumblr users happy, whether they can keep the Tumblr engineers happy. My guess, they overpaid. It'll probably end up being more like the MySpace deal than like the YouTube deal. But it is absolutely a possibility that it ends up being a good thing for Yahoo.
Well, and there's some reaction already on the Tumblr, community, so to speak, with the users.
Hilarious reaction. So
hilarious reaction.
Go to Tumblr, type in Yahoo, and you will see nothing but animated GIFs making fun of Yahoo, and they're hilarious.
They are, and freedom of speech. But the idea is that, look, they're worried. The users are worried that if they get bought by Yahoo, that being bought by Yahoo means that it's going to be a much more commercial enterprise, and therefore the fun is taken out of being on Tumblr.
Right, absolutely. They think Marissa Mayer is the man. That suddenly they're going to be advertisements everywhere. My guess is that Yahoo will be extremely cautious. You saw in the press release that Yahoo took a very cheeky, fun, Tumblr-esque tone. Marissa Mayer said, "I promise not to screw it up," right? Trying to reach out and show that she's one of them. We'll see. I mean, as soon as those power users go someplace else, then Tumblr disappears. You see that with every social network. Once people get frustrated and go,
then they leave, right? And John, you're seeing that also. I mean, as Facebook, for instance, tries to become more, tries to monetize more and more of its users and its network, the users leave. How do you walk that tightrope?
I think Marissa Mayer has to think about making bold moves. I mean, you're absolutely right. The other side of this, though, is that here's a company that, based on getting a lot of cash back from Alibaba, is sitting on a lot of money right now. And up until this point, Marissa Mayer has taken some steps, some important steps in, hiring some smart young people to come and bring some new life into Yahoo, and they introduced their new weather app, and a lot of people say that's great. But if you look at the earnings results from this company, it's the same old story. So a lot of people think, hey, if you're going to make a bold move, here's the first step. And at least you can start to grade the new Yahoo under Marissa Mayer, and you got to give her kudos for that.
You do, Nick. I mean, would you say that she's bought herself some time with some of the moves that she's made since she started?
Or the opposite. I mean, she's gone on a crazy spending spree since she's gotten there. I mean, she's torn things up, she's shaken things up, she's hired new people, she's fired new people, she's bought small things, she's bought big things, she's trying to change the culture, she's changed the rules.
Which is what she was hired to do, yeah.
That's what she's hired to do. So either it's going to go up in flames or she's going to be looked back upon as one of the great tech executives who saved Yahoo. This is not going to be a neutral reign of Marissa Mayer. So certainly it's more dramatic. And anyway, since Alibaba is making so much money, it doesn't really matter since Yahoo's like a holding company for Alibaba stock.